Hello there. Today we're doing your adding and subtracting in scientific notation class notebook page. So let's start. To add or subtract values written in scientific notation, their numbers must have the same power or exponent of 10. I'm going to make this, go to home and make that red so it kind of sticks out. Okay. So they must have the same power of 10. Because of the place value, if the numbers in scientific notation do not have the same power of 10, you can choose to rewrite them. Rewrite one of the numbers giving it the same power of 10. So otherwise, convert values to standard notation, rewrite in scientific notation at the end. So let's look at number 1. We have 6 and 2 tenths times 10 to the 8th plus 2 and 3 tenths times 10 to the 8th. So if we look here, these are both 10 to the 8th, right? So we have the same power, so we don't have to worry. We can just add up our first factors and keep it by 10 to the 8th. So I would do this. I'm going to go into my insert and put my equations over here. I'm going to start with parentheses. We're going to go 6.2 plus the 2.3, our first factors. And we're going to take that, and that is all going to be multiplied by 10 to the 8th. So 6.2, or 6 and 2 tenths plus 2 and 3 tenths, is going to get us 8 and 5 tenths times 10 to the 8th. And there's our answer. Number 2, let's check to see if we are the same powers of 10. And we are, right? We have the same exponents. So we can just, hold on a second. I forgot to click that. So now we can just rewrite this with adding our first factors, or this in this case subtracting. This is 9. Oops. 9 minus 4, and that is all going to be times 10 to the negative 3. We know that 9 minus 4 is 5 times 10 raised to the negative 3rd power. And we're done. Let's look at number 3. Again, we have these same exponents. So we can just here add our first 2 factors and keep the exponent. So we're going to add the 1 and 9 tenths plus the 5 and 42 hundredths. And that is all going to be times our 10 to the negative 5. And if we were to add these up, we would get 7 and 32 hundredths times 10 to the negative 5. Now look at number 4. Number 4 is not written in scientific notation. We could add this up as it is and change it into scientific notation, or change it into scientific notation and add it up. So to get us more practice in writing scientific notation, we're going to do that. So this is going to be, let me pull this down so we can see the number better. This is going to be 4 and 5 tenths times 10. And we got to count all the place values after this 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 10 to the 7th. And then we're adding, this is going to be 2 3/10 times, let's do this, everything after the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 10 to the 7th. Okay. And move this up so we have a little more space. It's not going to be covering it anymore. So now we're going to, because we have these same exponents, we can just add the first terms. All right, so we're going to have 4 5/10 plus 2 3/10. And that is going to be all multiplied by 10 to the 7th. And this is going to be 6 8/10 times 10 to the 7th. Number 5, we're going to get a little practice writing in scientific notation when we're going to have a negative exponent. So first of all, if we change this as a negative exponent, our first factor, remember that number between 1 and 10 is going to have to be 6.25. So let me go 6.25. And this is going to be times 10. I got to figure out what our negative factor is going to be. So what was the decimals here are going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places backwards, right? So this is going to be negative 4. Yeah, we are subtracting here. And our next one, let me move this down a bit, is going to be, our number between 1 and 10 is going to be 5.13. Times 10, and let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 to the negative 4. Right? So 6 and 25 hundredths plus minus 5 and 13 hundredths is going to be 1 and 12 hundredths. This is, oh, I forgot. It should have been a negative 4 here. Sorry, I made a mistake. This is all going to be times 10 the negative. I missed my box. Times 10 to the negative 4. Okay. Now, this one, we have a little difficulty here because this is 10 to the 7th and this is 10 to the 6th. So we can't add them right now as they are. We're going to have to rewrite one of them so that they match up. So we're going to actually take this 10 to the 7th and we're going to break this 10 to the 7th up into 2 parts. Okay, so I'm going to go bring this over here. Go 4.7 times 10 times 10 to the 6th plus, and over here we have our 3.4 times 10 to the 6th. Now, what I did is I took our 10 to the 7th and I broke our 10 to the 7th up into a 10 times 10 to the 6th, which is the same as 10 to the 7th. Now I'm going to take my 4 7/10 and multiply it by this 10. So we are going to have 47. 4 times 10 is 47 times 10. I did that backwards. Oh, now I forgot this. 10 to the 6th. Let me put this in parentheses. Plus our 3.4 times 10 to the 6th. Oh, look at that. Now we do have the same exponents, right? Our exponents are now 10 to the 6th, right? So now we can just add up the first terms, right? The first factors. So we'd have 47 plus 3.4, and that's all going to be times 10 to the 6th. Got a problem here, though, Houston. I have, what, 47, 50.4, 50 and 4 tenths, times 10 to the 6th. But notice that this is not in scientific notation. We do not have a number between 1 and 10. So we are going to take our 50 and 4 tenths and rewrite it into scientific notation. So we are going to have 5.04 times, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this one, times 10. And then we still have that times that 10 to the 6th, right? Actually, let me do it like this. Probably. Let me try it again. 5.04 times 10, and this is all times 10 to the 6th. Okay? So now I can combine these, and I will have 5.04 times, let me put this, times our 10 to the 1 plus 6. 10 to the 1 plus 6. And that is going to equal 5.04 times 10 to the 7th. Okay. Have a good day.